Hey babies, come on. They're very scared. They just got moved. We just filled up their water, so once water comes. So guys, I wanted to just do a quick video with the baby ducks today and talk to you about one of the problems that comes up when you're raising little ducks. And we've had this not happen, and we've had it happen. But since we started taking an additional step, it's never happened again, so it's totally worth doing since it's so cheap to do. We've had times when we've brooded groups of ducks, and usually when we've brooded large groups of ducks, where all of a sudden like one side of their body almost is paralyzed. And they'll live for a couple days and they'll eventually die, but like one side doesn't work and the other side does. And through all the research we've done, we've determined it's a nutritional deficiency in the B vitamin spectrum. Some say it's niacin alone, but from what I can gather, it's an overall weakness in B vitamins, B6, B12, niacin, riboflavin, etc. And it's odd because it doesn't affect all of them. It's not like you have an entire group, it's only some. And I've never seen it happen to chickens. And that's feeding everybody the same feed. And the feed should have some B vitamin profile in it, but apparently some of our little waterfowl creatures need more, and some don't need more. So that's the best we can do. So if you look here, it looks like I gave them a big old fat line. I did give them a big old fat line, but it's not a controlled substance. This is nutritional yeast flakes. And all I do is every time I fill their feeder, I just add a little bit of nutritional yeast. This is like a B vitamin powerhouse. And it actually kind of tastes like cheese. I don't really eat popcorn because it's too much carbohydrates, but I know people that want to keep their fat down, which I'm not worried about either, but just to get to where this is going, they put this on popcorn and it tastes like cheese popcorn. And it really does. I mean, is it exactly the same? No, but it's close. One thing these are good on, another thing I don't eat is potatoes. But you can add these to your meal for your own B vitamin purposes. This is what they look like. This is by, I think, Frontier Co-op is who I got them from. It doesn't really matter. But this is nutritional yeast. And what that means is it's dead, right? It's not brewer's yeast. Like if you put this in something, it's not going to start fermenting. That's a good thing. Now we can have a little bit of live yeast. When we drink homebrew beer and certain other things, we get some live yeast. That's a thing. But you really don't want to eat a lot of live yeast. And you certainly don't want to put a lot of live yeast into little baby tummies like that, because if it starts fermenting, it can cause problems for their intestinal tract. This stuff has done its thing. It's been grown in a lab, and then it's basically been killed. And it's not like, oh, they killed it with radiation. They killed it with heat. Once you get yeast over about 140 degrees, they just die. They just can't handle the heat. Basically, you give the incubator a temperature, just like you get a temperature with a fever, and they all die. And then they make it into flakes, and then you can eat it or you can use it with your livestock. So if you're brooding ducks, you might have done it before even and not had a problem. I highly recommend this. I think I got a pound of this stuff for 11 bucks. And I don't think I'll use a pound in brooding these guys. And they probably need it less than a lot that live, you know, the first 4, 5, 6 weeks in a brooder, because they're out here in the grass. Aren't you guys? Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's your little duck lesson of the day, episode 2 of the Duck Chronicles.